Learn.
So yes, good evening, everybody. Welcome to today's Java class. Yes, so we have still people joining. Okay, so we only have 6 members. Okay, so the strength is very low. Okay, so if this continues, we might have to stop the class. Okay, so please, yeah, good evening. So please, everybody, please intimate your friends or anyone who used to attend class daily and not attending right now. Okay, so please I must have at least 15 members to continue the class, right? So we are going to see how much people are going to attend, and then we will take a decision on Saturday, I guess. Okay, so please try to have more people on the class so that more people can take benefit of these free classes, right? So yes, so given that, we will quickly see today what are we going to learn. Okay, so the other thing is, if anyone of you is facing any other issues or connectivity issue or is not understanding, okay, anything you can please share with me. We will try to address that issue. Okay, so yes, so now we have 6 people, I think. Yes, so yeah, so let us see what do we have in today's class. Okay, so in today's Java class we are going to learn about strings in Java. Okay, so normally, one second. Okay, so normally in C, okay, so in C language, we used to have strings, right? The type of strings we have also in Java. Okay, so how do we define a string? A string is normally a group of characters. Okay, so whenever you group a character, okay, or an array of characters which you have, that is called a string. Okay, let's say if I have a string called as hello. Okay, so this is a sentence. This sentence has a group of characters. We call this group of characters as a string. Okay, so and the other important thing about strings in Java is, in Java, string is an object that represents a sequence of characters. Okay, so in Java, string itself is an object of a class called a string. Okay, so anything, as we have discussed earlier, each and everything in Java is object oriented. Why? Because Java is object oriented programming language, right? That's why in Java, arrays are also an object of a class, and even strings are object of a class. Okay, so there is a predefined class inside java.lang method with java.long class, wherein there is a package. Okay, so this package contains a class called a string class. Okay, so we use that class and create an object of that class, and then we do implementations, different types of implementations on that class, right? So yeah, so I hope everyone is able to understand in here. Okay, so there is java.lang.string class is used to create a string object. In Java, strings are immutable. This is also another most important thing about strings in Java, that is they are immutable. What does this mean? Strings are immutable. This means that you cannot change a string once it has been defined. Okay, let's say I have defined a string called as hello. Okay, now I want to add another string called Java to my previous string called hello, and I want to make it a hello Java string. This is called as appending. Okay, so you cannot do this thing in strings in Java. Why? Because strings are immutable. This means that strings are unchangeable. Immutable means you cannot change those data types or objects. They remain same. Okay, so always remember strings in Java are immutable type. Okay, so now let us see different types of example, how we define strings, etc. Okay, so first let us see how we create an object of a string, right? We create or we define or we initialize a string using this object called a string. Okay, so you can give a data type called a string, give whatever variable you want to give, and you can have an initial value. Okay, so this is how you give string literals. Okay, so always remember, whenever you are giving some value to a string, that string should be always enclosed inside double quotes. Okay, so whenever you enclose a string in double quotes, then only they are being stored. If you don't, you will see some type of error. Okay, so what happens is, if you don't enclose a string in double quotes, the JVM will get confused whether welcome is a string or welcome is a variable, right? We can also have a variable as a group of characters, right? Whenever you group a character, that can also be name of a variable, right? So this JVM will get confused whether it is a single character or it is a string or it is a name of a variable. Okay, just to differentiate it, we are going to always include string inside double quotes. Okay. Okay, again we have doubt from Manasa. She is saying what is immutable. Okay, so immutable is something which cannot be changed. Okay, so once it has been defined, it is permanent and it cannot be changed. Similarly, strings in Java are also immutable. That means that you can only have one definition, one string, and you cannot change that string. Okay, now I have a string. If you see that, let me clear this. If here in this example, now I have a string called as now what is the value of this string? Welcome, right? Now I want to change its value from welcome to Java, Java I want to write. Now I can't do that. Why? Because these strings are immutable. You cannot change. If you want to have one more string, you have to take one more different string where it has a different value called as Java. Okay, so this means that strings in Java are immutable. Okay, so this is one method of declaring or initializing values for initializing strings. Okay, so then further, you can also we also declare string using a new keyword. Okay, if you see here, we have string, we have a variable called as s, then we have a keyword called as new. Again, we have the same method called a string, and then we are passing this parameter. Okay, if you see this is similar to the method while where we used to create object of a class. Okay, let me show you how we used to create object of a class. Let's say I have a class called as my class, right? So then we used to write my class, right? Then any object, let's say obj, then we used to have equals to, then new, then we used to have my class, and then we used to have like this, right? So this is how we used to create object, right? The same here we are following. Why are we doing like this here? We are doing like this here because string is also a class, and we declare or we give string literals or we give values to a string by creating the objects of that string class. Okay, if we go back, there is a library, Java library called as java.lang. Okay, let me change its color. Okay, so there is java.lang.string. Okay, inside this package called as java.lang, there is a class called a string. Okay, when you create object for this class called a string, you are going to create a new string with some value. Okay, so that's why we normally create object for a string by simply following the syntax which we use to give values, following the syntax for creating an object of an array. So Syntax for creating object of a class and syntax for creating a new string are the same, right? So I hope everybody is able to follow. And one more thing is, always remember, whenever you use this keyword called a string, the S in the string is always capital. Okay, that is how it has been defined. So whenever you write string, your S should be a capital or it should be in the uppercase. Okay, you have to follow that string, that rule. Okay, so then if we go further, just 1 second. Okay, so if we go further, let us have an example where I have this ready-made example. There, here I have a class called a string example, right? There is this class. Inside this class, I have a method called as main. Okay, first of all, this is one method of creating, one method of initializing a string. Just simply write string, give a name s1, then you can give a whatever string you want inside double quotation mark. This is method number 1. Apart from that, as I have said, string is an array of characters. You can also give a string like an array of characters. If you see in here, ch is an array of character type, right? So it has strings, different types of characters. Okay, so always remember in Java, whenever you write a character, you should include that character in single quotation mark. And whenever you write a string, that string should be included in double quotation mark. Okay, that's why here I am giving each and every character one at a time to this array. That's why I am giving literals to that. Okay, so you can also have a character array. Okay, once you have a character array, you can convert this character array to a string. Okay, how are we going to convert this? Again, we create an object for string class string s2 is equals to new string, and we pass this character array to that object. Okay, so we pass that character array called as ch to that object while creating. Okay, whenever you pass that while the object is being created, this character array will be converted to string. As you can see, I have written a comment here that converting a character array to string. Okay, similarly, okay, so you can have a character array. If you have a character array, you can convert a character array to string by passing that character array as a parameter. If you don't have a character array, you simply have a string which you want to initialize, you can simply pass that string between double quotation mark. Okay, so you can also pass that. Just to check each and every string s1, s2, and s3, I have printed system.out.println s1, println s2, and println s3. Okay, this is going to print all the strings, and you can check for yourself whether all these strings have been initialized or not. Okay, so these are 3 different methods wherein you can initialize string through different steps. Okay, so I hope everybody is able to follow this. If you have any doubt about initializing different types of strings, you can please ask right now. Okay, then going further, we also have the other topic related to strings. This is called as accessor methods. Okay, so what are accessor methods? Okay, so in arrays we used to write array.length, right? So the array.length is also an accessor attribute. Okay, so similarly, we are related to strings also we have accessor methods. What are accessor methods? Methods used to obtain information about an object are known as accessor methods. Okay, so if you want to find the length of a string, okay, so or find whether string is palindrome or not, or all the information of that string of that object are found using its accessor method. Okay, like every object, most of the objects in Java have accessor methods. String objects in Java also have accessor methods. Okay, so one accessor method, one example for accessor method is length, right? So we can use this method called as length, 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 and have a bracket, open bracket and close bracket. Then this is called as an accessor method. This is used to know the length of that string. Okay, so what does it do? It returns the number of characters contained in the string object. Okay, let us see how to use that. Okay, so I have a class called a string demo, which is a main class because I am having this main method inside, and in here I am creating a new string. The name of that string is palindrome and value of that string is radar. Okay, so now what is this? Which string do I have? I have a string called as palindrome, and what is the value? The value of the string is radar. Now if I want to calculate its length, I am going to write name of the string, have a dot, and I will call that method called as length. Okay, so this length is an accessor method which is available in the string class. Okay, all the accessor methods which are available in the string class, you can use it for your own string because your string is also an object of that string class. That's why all the properties of that string class will be inherited or will be copied by your object. Okay, like I have said, if we have 10 methods in the class, and there is an object of that class. That respective object of that class will have all the 10 methods of its respective class. That's why, because there is length method inside the string class, my palindrome is an object of this string class. It also has this a property called as length method. Whenever you write palindrome dot length, it is going to return an integer type of variable. Because it is going returning integer type of variable, I will store that in a variable called as len, which is of integer type. Now if I want to see that value, I am going to write system dot out dot println, and I will print that len. Okay, whenever you print this, you are going to give the length. What is the length of this radar? 1 2 3 4 5. So it will give us a 5 in here. Okay, so this is how we are going to run. We are going to use different types of accessor methods for different classes. Okay, and the string class or string object is concerned. Okay, I hope everybody is able to follow this. Okay, so now I am going to see, we are going to see more accessor methods. Okay, string objects in Java has many accessor methods. Okay, here in our class we will discuss some of them. Okay, if you see another, you can learn the rest easily if you learn some of them in here. Okay, the next is the concat method. Okay, so string objects also have concat method. What is this concat method do? This concat method will combine or merge, or what we say, it will merge one string with another, not as complete merge, but it will join. Okay, let's say I have one string which is hello and another string which is Java. Now I want to combine these two, then I am going to concatenate these two strings. Okay, whenever I concatenate one string which is hello and another string is Java, I am going to get a single string which says hello Java. Okay, so this is how what we do in concatenation. Concatenation was there in C language, so the same is there in here, but the syntax is, here we write a string1 dot concat and string2. Okay, so this is also similar to C, I guess. Okay, so we write it like this. We give the string1 in here, we write concat, and we give the string2 here. This concat method will return another string called as, you can have it as string3, which is going to be the combination of both the strings, right? So let us quickly see an example program which I have in here. If you see here, I have a main method. Okay, there is a class. Inside that class, I have a main method. This method has two strings. Okay, the first string is S1, which is CSCE, and the second string is S2, which is computers. Now I want to merge or join these two strings. Whenever you want to join, we are going to have this method called as concat method. So I will write S1, which is string1 dot concatenate, and S2, which is string2. Okay, so now what is this going to do? It will concatenate these two strings, and I will store that into another string called as output, because this is output, because this is a string. You might also require another string which is another string, another variable which is of string type. That's why there is another variable called a string, and I'm also just to check, I am going to print that output. Okay, yes, we have a doubt from Manasa saying that concatenate means combine. Yes, concatenate means combine. Let me show you what happens if you concatenate a string called CSCE and another string called computers. Whenever you concatenate, you are going to get a resultant string called as CSCE computers. Okay, this is how we are going to concatenate these two strings. Okay, so I hope everybody is able to learn what is concatenate and how do we concatenate two strings. Okay, we normally write the name of the string S1 dot concat dot, and we pass another string S2. Okay, that is one method, and you can also concatenate in other methods. The next is this. You can have a string called direct my name is and concatenate to another string called Zara. Okay, you can also have like this. What again, this will take this string and it will concatenate with this string. Okay, so you can also have, instead of having names of that string, you can also have direct strings also. It is going to do the same, rather than there is also an operator called as plus. Okay, this plus is also used to concatenate. Instead of writing dot concatenate, we can also use plus. Okay, so here I have okay, one second. Here I have first I have a string called as hello. Okay, then I have one more string called as one. Then I have one more string called as wondermark. Okay, now I want to concatenate all these three. I can concatenate all these three using this plus operator, which is also called as concatenating operator. It is also used to add. It is plus is used for addition. Plus is also used for joining. Okay, so I have kept plus in here. It is going to join all these three words, and we can store it in a new string if we want. Okay. And then, okay, so again, we have doubt from Manasa. She is asking why I have written system dot out dot println output. Okay, so let me show you here. In this program, I have string S1, which is CSCE, string S2 dot computers. Okay, so now I am concatenating S1 and S2, right? So once they have been concatenated, the resultant string, okay, which is CSCE computers, the joined string is not inside S1, it is not inside S2, it is inside another string called as output. Okay, so there is new string here whose name is output. It concatenates both the string and the result is stored in that string called output. Now I want to see whether the output has both the strings combined or not. Okay, because I want to see, I will print that string called as system.out.println and I will write output. Whenever I write output in the output, whenever I run the program, I will be able to see CSCE computers. Then I will be satisfied that concatenation has been done. Okay, if I don't see, then it means that I have a problem. Then I will work on my program. Okay, so yeah, so and since you have got, okay, always remember each and every accessor method has its own parameters, has its own return type. Okay, what are the parameters? Like you can see this length. Okay, where was that length? Okay, so this length method does not have any parameters. Like we have empty braces in here, right? So that means that it does not take any parameters, but it returns something which is of integer type, right? Always know this signature. Okay, if you have any accessor method, you have to know what does this accessor method accept and what does this accessor method return. And then when you come to this concatenate method, this concat method will take two strings as parameters and it will also return a string as the return type. Okay, it will not return an integer, but it will return a string as the return type. Okay, so that is what we have. Okay. Then we have one more doubt from Manasa. She is asking, we can also write print instead of println. Yes, you can, right? What is the difference between println and printsar? Println prints the output in the new line, whereas print will print the output in the same line as the existing line. There is not much difference. You can write println or you can write print. It is going to be the same. Okay. So then we are going to start further. Okay. So then going further, we have one more accessor method, which is called as char at. Okay. So like we have length, like we have concat, there is also one more method called as, if you see in here, this is a method, okay, one second, called as char at. Okay. This char at method, what it does is, it takes an integer, okay, and it takes that index and give us whatever character is that. Okay, let's say if I pass char at 3. Okay, so I have passed a string. I have passed a string called a CSCE computer dot. I have called this method caret and I am passing 3. Okay. So what it will do, what is the character at the third location? The character at 0th location is C, at first location is S, at second location is C, and third location is 3. Okay. So it will give me a 3 as the output. Okay, so that's why always remember this caret function is used to get a character at specified location. You can get a character from your string. You can at whichever location you want. You can get a character at 9th. You can get a character at 0th location or anything. Okay, so always remember this character caret method or caret accessor method will take one second. It will take an integer variable, which is the index, and in return it will give us a character. Okay, so if you want to work this, you have to store whatever this method is giving inside a character and you have to print that. Okay, so that is what we have about char at method, and always remember a of this caret method is a capital. Okay, so given that, let us see the next method we have. Okay, the next method is index of a string. Okay, so what is this index of method will do? This index of method will give the index of a string. That means that it is used to search for a smaller string in a bigger string. Okay, so now let us come back to our example. I will show you what does this do. First of all, I have a string S called as learn, share, learn. Okay, so this is a string, right? So now what I want to do is I want to search for a string called as share inside this string. Okay, I want to search for this share. Okay, so now whenever you want to search where is this share, you will write the name of this string called as S. Then you will call this method called index of, and you will pass whatever the string you want to search. Okay, now whenever you want to, because you want to search share, I will pass a parameter called as share. Okay, now this index of will go and search for share inside my string called as S. Okay, so share it will be searched inside this string. Okay, inside this string called as we have learn, and yes, we have share. Okay, where is this share starting from? The share is starting from an index which is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It is starting from the sixth address. That's why this index of will tell you that I have found this string called as share, which is starting from the sixth address. Okay, so this index of will search for your respective string, and it will give you the address where this string is found inside the bigger string. Okay, so I hope everybody is able to understand. Now I will, in case you still have any doubt, let me give one more input called as int output 2 is equals to s dot index of, always O should be capital, and I am going to search learn. Okay, LEARN, close bracket and close. Okay, so now I'm using the same method, but instead of searching for share, now I'm searching for learn. Okay, so now can anybody tell me what is going to be the output of the value of the variable output 2? What is going to be the output? What does it returns? It returns a 0. Okay, one second. Why does it return a 0? In this statement, I'm searching for learn. Okay, so whenever it goes, index of method will go and search for learn. Learn is simply found at the 0th location only. Okay, because it is simply found at the 0th location, it will give you a 0. Okay, so this is how this index of method works. Okay, I hope everybody is able to get it. If you still have any doubt, you can please ask. Okay. No doubts. Okay. So since there are no doubts, we are going to proceed further. Yes. Okay. So the next method is one second. The substring method. Okay, it is also important. Okay. How share returns 6. Okay, so I have explained why is share returning 6. No problem. I will explain you again. When this index of method is searching for share, it is searching for share, right? So it will search for share here. Share is found at the 6th place. If you count, okay, let me write here. L is at 0, E is 1, A is 2, R is 3, 4. Okay, the space is 5 and S is 6, right? So because the share is found at starting from the 6th, it will give you 6. Okay, that's why. Okay. It will not give you the whole index, but it will give you the starting address where share is found. Okay, so that's why the share is giving us a 6 as the value. Okay, I hope you have understood. Okay, so then let us go and see the next accessor method, which is a substring. Okay, so what is this substring going to do? This substring. Okay, we have substring in here. First of all, we have two substring method. First of all, let us deal with this. What is this substring method? Okay, this substring method is used to extract a string from a bigger string. Okay, so if you want to extract a smaller part from a bigger string, we use this method called a substring. And if you see, it will take a variable called as integer type of variable, and it will return you a string type of variable. Okay, so if you see here, I have a string called as CSCE computers, and I am calling that method called as dot substring 4. Okay, so now what it will do, it will extract the string from the 4th index. Okay, where is the 4th index? This C is 0, this S is 1, this C is 2, this C is 3, and it is 4. So now what it will do, it will extract all the string from the 4th index to the end. It can be anything. It will extract all the index from the 4th index, and it will go till the end. Okay, so what it will return, it will remove CSE, and it will give a new string called as computers. Okay, so this is how we extract a string from a bigger string using this method called as substring. Okay, sometimes I don't want to extract the whole string from an index to the end. Okay, I want to start from a certain point and I want to end from a certain point. Okay, if you have a requirement like that, you can also do like that. That there is a same method for do like that. That is also called a substring. But here you have to pass two variables. Okay, here we have passed only one variable. When you pass one variable, starting from that variable to the end of the string, everything is being extracted. But when you pass two variables, all the strings between those two variables will be extracted. But there is a certain small problem in here. What it does is the string includes I. Okay, I is included, but it does not include J. Okay, so let me show you what it means, what is include and not included. Okay, let us take this example called as CSCE computers. Okay, so now I am calling dot substring 2 comma 5. Okay, so what is 2? 0 1 2. Okay, so 2 is in here and 3 is this, 4 is this, and 5 is this, right? So 5 is O, right? So it should also have O, but see here I only have the output is only CEC. Okay, so the fifth element is not included. Okay, so that's why whatever you write here, the upper limit is not included, whereas the lower limit is included. Always remember that this in the substring method, the substring method includes the upper limit, but the substring method does not include the lower limit. Okay, so that is what we have about substring method. I hope everybody had understood. If not, you can please ask. Okay, so now let us see the next method, which is compare to. Okay, so like in C language, if you remember, we have a method called as strcmp, right? Strcmp is used to compare two strings, right? The same method, but here we have a different name called as compare to. This method will take two strings as parameter, and it will return as a 0 if two strings are equal, and it will return something 1 if they are not equal. Okay, so okay, Kalyani is asking me to repeat. Okay, so what do I have to repeat? I have to repeat substring, I guess. Okay, so let me show you in this. Okay, quickly I will show you what is this substring method doing. Okay, so if you see in here, I have passed a string. Okay, so I have a string called as CSCE computer, but here if I am passing a string called 2 comma 5, right? So I am passing two indexes. Okay, so it will start it will, whenever you pass 2 comma 5, it will start extracting from the two index, and it will extract only till 4. Okay, it will not take 5. Okay, if you want 5, you have to write in here 6. If you write 6, now it will start from 2 and it will go till 5. Okay, that is the drawback we have. Now let me show you, because we are going from 2 to 5, it will have C, E. Okay, so this is 0. Okay, so this is 1. This is 2, right? So we will have 2. We will have a C. This is 3. Okay, so this is 3 and this is 4, right? So it will have 2, 3, 4 only. That's why it will have C, E, C only as the output. But we have written 5 here. No, fifth element should also be there. No, it will not include fifth element. If you want C, E, C, O, how you have to write? You have to write. Let me show you how we will write. Okay, I will give one more example in here for your sake. Okay, it's clear. Okay, no problem. Here, what I will do is I will write one more line which says same line. Okay, but in here, what I will do is instead of 2 to 6, I will write 3 to 7. Let's say, or 6. Okay, so now what is 3? 0, 1, 2, 3. So it will have a E. Okay, it will have a C. Okay, so we have to go till fifth element. What is the fifth element? 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Or fifth element is O, so we have to go till O. So we will have an E, we will again have a C, and we will have an O. Okay, so this is how you will get the output depending upon the inputs you give for the substring method. Okay, so I hope everybody is able to follow. Then we quickly go to the next accessor method, which is compare to. What is this accessor method will give? It will give us an integer value. Okay, so it will compare two strings. If they both are found to be same, it will give us a 0. Okay, so then what happens is, let's say if they both are same, no problem, it will give a 0. Now let's say I have string 1 which is apple, and whereas string 2 is ball. Okay, so now these two are not equal, right? So now apple and ball are not equal. If you have string 1 as apple, string 2 as apple, it will give you a 0. No issue. Okay, now if my string 1 is an apple, string 2 is ball, now A comes before, right? And before than B. Now B, whereas the value of A is 65, ASCII value of A is 65, whereas the ASCII value of B is 66. Now what it will do is, normally it will differentiate both this. Okay, what is 65 minus 66? 65 minus 66 is minus 1, right? So if that's why it will give you a minus 1. Okay, so if you have any letter, okay, if string 1 is before string 2, we will get a negative value. If string 2 is before string 1, you will get a positive value. Okay, so that is what we have. Okay, so then in second example, that is single C or double C. Okay. Oh, one second. Yeah, so let me change. CSEC. There is single C only, I guess. Okay, 3, 4, 5, right? There is only single C. Yes. Thank you for pointing. Okay, you can try it for yourself. Please try to execute this on your computer and see whether we are getting the same output or whether we are getting different output. Okay, just come back to this compare method and see what, like as we have seen. Okay, so this compare method compares both the strings. If both the strings are found to be same, it will give you as a 0, or else if you give apple here and string 2 as ball, it will give you a -1. Now instead, if let's say now I have string 1, okay, let me clear. Okay, now I have string 1 is ball and string 2 is apple. Okay, now what it will do, it will differentiate 66 from 65, right? So what is 1? It will give a +1. Okay, so depending upon the output you get in this variable called as out, if this out is a positive number, then S1 is after S2. If this out is a negative number, then S1 is before S2. We can infer that, and using this logic we can also write a program wherein we can arrange different strings in alphabetical order. The same has been given here. The output is less than 0 if S1 comes before S2, and the output is equal if they are 0, and output is greater than 0 if they are, if S1 comes after S2. Okay, so please try this. Give different types of string. Okay, one string starting with Z, one string starting with A. You can give anything, then you can see the output for yourself. Okay, so then after that, just to demonstrate more about this compare method, I have a pre-written example in here wherein I have different strings. I have string hello, string meclo, hm, anything. Okay, then I have different types of outputs also. Okay, so what I will do is, right now we are short of time, so I will not discuss this program. So please copy this program, sit and see what is going to be the output. You here in this program I am comparing S1 with S2, S1 with S3, S1 with S4, S1 is S5, and I have also written what output we will get, and why is the reason we are getting a positive output, why is the reason we are getting a negative output, and why is the reason we are getting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different digits in here. Okay, please try to execute this program and try to learn how this compare method is working. Okay, so then let us see one more method wherein this is called as compare to ignore case. Okay, what happens in, there is a problem with my earlier compare method. Here let's say I have a string called as hello. Okay, S1 is a hello. Okay, let me clear this. Okay. Okay, then we have some doubt in Telugu. Okay, okay, so what is that? Computer sada. Okay, yes. These examples you have to take by yourself. Okay, computer won't give these strings, right? So if you want to learn how these strings are working, computer will not give these strings. We have to have our own strings. Okay, so that's why it will not give. You have to take our own strings. Computer itself will give the output as 0 or 1 depending upon whatever strings you give. Okay, here what we will do, we are learning how this compare to method is working. That's why we will give our own methods, own strings, and computer will not give its own strings. Okay, so yeah, so then what I was discussing in here is, let's say here I have one string which is a hello. Okay, and then I have another string S2 which is also a hello, but here I have a small h. Okay, here I have a capital H. Whenever you have like this will say they are not equal. Why? Because it will even check the case. Okay, even if that if a letter is from uppercase to lowercase, even then it is going to say that the two things are different, but these two things are same, right? So sometimes when you want to ignore the case, you can use this method called as compare to, but also ignore case. This method called as compare to ignore case will take two methods, but here it will ignore case. Here you can have H, E, all as capital, and you can also have one more string which has all a small. Also it will give us a 0 because these two are same strings, even though they are having different cases. This compare to ignore case will give us it will say us that these two strings are the same strings. Okay, so all the people understanding? Okay, so then we have one more method which is called as to lowercase. This is also same. What is this string going to do is it will convert a string from uppercase to lowercase. If you see in here, I have a string called as hello. Now I am calling this method called as dot to lowercase. If you see the output, all the output is in small letters. The same thing we also have to uppercase. Whatever the string you pass, this to uppercase method is going to convert that into capital. Okay, so this two upper and two lower will convert our string from capital to small. Okay, so yes, so we are out of time. We have the small method called a string. This will remove spaces, which I will show you tomorrow's class. Okay, so yeah, so that is what we have for today's class. This class might end because we have less than 1 minute. So yeah, thank you everybody. We'll meet tomorrow at the same time, which is 7:10. Okay, yeah, thank you.